Hello, everybody. Welcome to Travel Chatters Canada. This is our third filming, and I'm sort of the guest host today. We're rotating. We are travel agents with many years of experience. We have 5 of us here today. I'll get everybody to give a quick wave as I say their name. So, Christine.
Hi.
Deborah.
Hey there.
Anna. Francis.
Hi.
And I'm Sue. Sue, into your hand. So we are filming this, and it is March 2021. It's been exactly a year since the pandemic was declared. And when I say that, my first thought is, wow, it went quickly, but it didn't go quickly. It was painful for everybody in different ways. Certainly our industry was affected for sure. The good news is we are seeing people being interested in travel again, rightfully so. People are getting the vaccines, and policies and practices are in place for travel to open up, hopefully the end of 21, for sure 22 and 23. And that's what we're seeing people looking at. So on that note, just because people are starting to call and we're interested in different things, I'm going to do a little bit of a different format today, and I'm just going to throw questions at the travel agents. So you can know a little bit about us, what we've done, and what we think are good places to travel. So you ready, ladies?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so the first question is, what is the first trip you plan on doing once we're able to travel, either booked now or what you think you're going to book? So let's start with Francis.
Well, I'm hoping to book Switzerland and Italy for land.
Okay.
And for 2023, I've already booked circumnavigation of Australia with Princess.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Yes, they are all out. The itineraries for 2023, Australia and New Zealand are out. That's excellent.
And that's sold in a day.
Pardon me?
That circumnavigation sold out in a day.
Wow, wow. That's telling us something. Okay. Christine, what about you? What do you plan on doing or hope to do?
Well, I want to go to Italy again, of course, which I love, with a component maybe of a river cruise or whatever. And we want to go back to Arizona. We love Arizona. We miss not having gone this year. So that's Europe and Arizona. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And would you do land, do you think, if you went to Italy? Many people do land, or?
We'll do both. We'll do either a river or a med cruise, and we love Ischia. So we'll go and spend a week at least in Ischia. Yep. It's quiet, peaceful, just absolutely beautiful. And that's what we'll do. Yeah.
All right. Sounds great. Mm-hmm. Okay, Deborah, what about you?
Well, I had clients and friends and family calling, going, when can we travel? So a few months ago, I booked a group on Princess to go to the Southern Caribbean for 10 nights in February of 22, hoping that that'll be safe and we'll all be vaccinated. But before that, I will be going to, in October for Thanksgiving, I'm going to Halliburton to a cottage.
Oh, okay. That should happen.
That's travel.
Yeah. And I've actually booked, hopefully you'll be going February, because I booked in January to go to South America on a cruise. So if I'm going, then you're going, I'm hoping.
Yeah.
And Anna, what about you?
I am hoping to do the Med in 2022 with my niece as her graduation gift from graduating from Teachers College and becoming a full-time teacher.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, so that will be our Zia, which is aunt in Italian, and niece time together. So I'm very much looking forward to that. I would have loved to have done it this year. Things didn't work out, but
no,
we're going to do it next year.
Right. And you'll have to do it on her schedule if she's going to be a teacher.
Yes.
Right?
Means a little more expensive, but it's okay. It's the time we're going to spend together that's going to be the most meaningful. So
good. All good. Okay, so I'm going to move away a little bit from cruising and talk about, I've got quite a few people now looking at using some of their credits from their canceled all-inclusive vacations. As we know, 2020, everything was canceled, and now 2021, the beginning of the year, they canceled them. So I guess I'd just like people's opinion on all-inclusives or warm weather land vacations, what you like, what you don't like, what you would suggest. So Deborah, what do you think?
Well, I think it's a good idea to get away at any time, anywhere. So
That's why you're a travel agent.
Right.
So the all-inclusives are great for people who don't want to worry about anything and they want to stay in one spot. So you get all-inclusives give you your food, your drinks, your beverages. They usually have activities. There's pools. Usually you're by the ocean. I like to go to St. Lucia is amazing because it's tropical and a spice island.
Right.
Nutmeg and chocolate.
Right.
And Barbados is great. There's not as many all-inclusives. They're more of a, you get your own kitchenette and stuff, but there are all-inclusives.
Right.
And also right now they're still offering the health protection. Most of the consolidators are.
Meaning what?
Meaning they'll for your health protocol with COVID, but I would still buy insurance.
Okay. Okay. Any thoughts, anybody, on what islands they think might be handling COVID better than others, or ones you would avoid? Anybody have any thoughts?
I would avoid Cuba as much as I love Cuba and the whole atmosphere in Cuba. I love Cuba. The beaches are beautiful, the whole thing. But right now, they're working on developing their own vaccine, and therefore very few people are vaccinated. So as much as I love it, I personally would not be traveling there until they've gotten their vaccine. Jamaica, different story. They had quite a few vaccines come in. They got a bunch, I think it was 50,000 right from India, sent in some vaccines for them. So a lot of their people are already vaccinated. And a lot of the hotels in Jamaica are offering testing right at the resort. So you don't have to go around looking for a test place to fly home before you get on the plane. So they seem to have everything tickety-boo, and they've been doing that for a while. So their protocols and what's available is pretty good.
In Jamaica. Yeah. In Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's important too, even looking at the resorts. Think about some of the larger chains will have more access to and ability to set the protocols and get testing on site, as opposed to some of the small independents. Not to say they're not great resorts, but I think some of the bigger ones will just be able to use their size to get all that in place. So that's something to consider.
And they also, well, the larger ones, of course, but the rules keep changing. So as a travel agent, we're constantly getting information and researching, because each island is different.
Yeah, changes daily too.
Mm-hmm.
Christine, what do you think of all-inclusives, or where do you like to go if you go for a warm vacation?
Well, we do love all-inclusives, although I must say we did them more when we were younger. Now we tend to do a little bit different travel, but Mexico has always been our favorite. We went there for our honeymoon 40 plus years ago and have been going regularly ever since. We just love Mexico. So I wouldn't hesitate to go there in a minute. And they're trying to get their act together. Nobody's great. Yes, they are. They're trying to get their act together. Nobody's perfect right now, but they're doing the best they can. So.
And do you usually go to the Mayan, or do you go to the Pacific Coast, Los Cabos, or?
We do both because it's the topography. We love the mountains and the cactus and whatever that you get on the Pacific Coast. So between the two of them, snorkeling and things, diving much better in the Caribbean side, but the topography can't be beat. Cabo, PV, it's just gorgeous over on that side. So we've done a little bit more on that side lately than we have in the Caribbean side, but you can't beat the white sand beaches for snorkeling and diving. Mm-hmm.
Right. And there's an issue with the water. The oceans are a little more of you have to be more careful on the Pacific side with the oceans with small children. Is that not correct?
When you're down in Cabo, absolutely. When you come up to PV and whatnot, no, not an issue at all there. It's the undertows because it's so steep, so it drops off so quickly. So you really have to be careful there in certain areas, right? So yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm.
And Francis, do you like to go to the Caribbean? What do you like to do?
I'm not a Caribbean lover.
No.
I can't be in the sun for a long period of time. So that's why we cruise the Caribbean. But there are other options if you have the time. There are long stays in Europe, in the French Riviera, in Portugal, in Spain, and in Malta, where it's quite warm. It's not hot, but it's very pleasant during the winter months. So.
True, and you get a little bit of the culture. Well, you get a lot of the culture and the food of the European countries. I do have quite a few people, generally retired people who have more time that like to do the longer stays.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I actually said, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say that that's a perfect alternative, rather than going to the Caribbean, they could go there.
Yes, I agree. And I actually sent a couple to, there's an all-inclusive outside of Greece.
Yeah.
So it's just an option, it's if you want that all-inclusive in the beach, but you want to be able to go off on trips that are a little different. I'm not an all-inclusive person. Well, I'm not that I'm not an all-inclusive person. I'm not a sun person either. So if I go to a place, I like to go to a place where there's lots of activity. So like Costa Rica, where you can do things like that, or a golf resort, something like that. That's all. We're all different. Okay, so let's, why don't I ask you what was one of your favorite trips that you've done? I don't care if it's land or cruise or anything. So Anna, what was one of your favorite trips?
Wow. The two, I'm going to sneak in two. Alaska for the adventure and the land, doing the helicopter, landing on the glaciers. What an experience. Just incredible, incredible, incredible. The other one, which the other one was India, and it was such a cultural awakening. It was an incredible, the people are amazing. The food was just, I would not think I was eating vegetarian. When I go to some of these countries, I'm a little worried about, eating and that kind of stuff. But in India, we always ate vegetarian, and it was amazing. The people warm and inviting, and their temples, just the amount of history. It was great. I would go back. I mean, we did everything from the Ganges, Mother Water, to up in the mountains, and I would go back. There is so much more that we didn't have time for.
Now, so you did a group. Did you go with a group, Anna? And would you recommend going with a group?
Yes, I did go with a group. As much as I felt comfortable, there's a lot of poverty. There's a lot of things that you see that you wish you hadn't seen, but it also makes you a little uncomfortable. And for safety, yes, absolutely. I was a single woman traveling with a group, which was great, but it was, I wouldn't do it on my own.
Okay.
Definitely not.
Okay, I agree. I think I agree with that. How about you, Francis? What's one of your best trips, or two of your best trips, whatever?
Well, first would be the Canadian War Memorials. It was really enlightening, lots of Canadian history involved. We went with a small group because everything is laid out. If you had to travel to all those sites by yourself, it would be almost impossible for you to do so. So I totally recommend it. Go to Juno Beach, went to Dieppe, went to Vimy. It is very, very emotional, but very much, I think, part of it. Every Canadian should do that. In addition to that, we did a small group in Japan. And again, as Anna was saying, the culture, the temples, it was really, really enlightening. And it was very safe. The old traditions, they still practice the old traditions, and they have maintained for many centuries the housing, and so you can see, and the practice of sleeping on the mats, and the food was very good. I have allergies. There was no problem with that. They were very concerned to make sure that I had no issues, and it was a really good trip.
I understand. I've heard about Japan that it's very family friendly, which I would never have thought that, but I've heard that it's great for that, and it is a really big hotspot right now. Lots of cruise ships are now going there intensively, and there's many land trips. It is a big hotspot. Yeah. How about you, Deborah?
Well, let's see. I'm going to go on a sailing ship. Windstar is the group name. And we were on the Windsurf. I was actually with Christine.
Yes.
And it's a 5-masted sailing yacht with 7 sails that are automatic. And it's absolutely amazing watching those sails unfurl.
Wow.
And the cabins are really roomy, like your staterooms.
Yes.
There's no balconies because you're on a sailing ship. The ports you can get into, of course, are small ports that you can't reach by larger ships. It's just a beautiful, beautiful cruise. Also, it has the marina on the back of the ship, where the back of the ship lowers down, and you can go out on their big floaty mats. You can go stand up boarding. What's that called again, Sue?
Oh, paddleboarding.
Paddleboarding.
Active, yeah.
I have a blockage for that. They have kayaks, and Christine and I swam up Dubrovnik because we did the Dalmatian coast.
Oh, okay. That's perfect for that.
Oh, perfect.
Just beautiful.
Perfect. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. So, Christine, you can't use that one because you were on that trip too.
Yeah.
Only a different one. You've done many trips.
You know, it's hard because as travel agents, we're lucky and we've done a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So, gosh, I really loved a Baltic cruise I did years ago on Oceania when they were the first line that was allowed 3 nights in St. Petersburg. It was just absolutely wonderful. Their destination reps are so good. And then my second, I think, would be Australia. Rod and I did Australia land only for a month, a good few years ago. And it's just a wonderful country, a wonderful continent.
Yes.
And we just loved it.
Did you drive? Did you drive then across? Sorry, did you drive across? Or?
We did have, no, we flew because it's so far between places, but we did have a car for a little bit of running around when we were up in Cairns. And we went to the funkiest, just very quickly, the funkiest little place you've ever seen. It's called Kuranda, up in the top of the mountains. And you go up on this little tiny small gauge train that they used for bringing ore back down, I think from a mine or something. Oh, it's just the cutest place I've ever been. And so that's it. Australia. No, a lot of people have never heard of it. It's called Kuranda, and it's really the neatest. If anybody's got clients going to Australia and they have time, it's a little out of the way, right near Cairns, but it's well worth the trip.
Very nice. Wow. Okay, they were pretty different.
very different.
I'll just chime in and say one of my favorite was doing the Mekong by a river cruise. And, similar to what you said, Anna, it was just the culture was so different and the people. And I love all river cruises, but I found it wasn't just the history of things, which I often forget. It just you absorb the culture. And I found that fascinating. So,
Yeah.
Okay, well, that went very quickly. We do actually have a reader question. We normally take a question, everybody. So I'm going to throw this out to everybody, and maybe you can see what you can answer for Dooley. Dooley asked, for cruisers who like to go to the Caribbean, and when they go to the Caribbean, they just like to go to the beach, but they often would just do it themselves. Because if in the past, if you book a shore excursion, beach to shore excursion, you are limited sometimes. You've got 2 hours at the beach and then you have to get back. So Julie is wondering, how do you see this playing out with COVID restrictions? Like, do you think cruises are going to adapt? Do you think they'll be able to get off themselves? Any ideas, thoughts?
At this time, I think they're maybe limited, but that can change. We're living on a day-to-day news, what you can do items. The ships still don't have all their information yet as to what they can do by the board. Which board is that?
Yeah, the CDC board and the cruise lines are really working at it. Yes.
So they still haven't got all that straightened out yet. So nobody really knows.
Right.
And that would depend on the island.
Yeah. Well, some of the cruise lines have their own private beach island. So
That would be an issue, of course.
that's
Yeah.
a given, right? So you can get off the ship, go there, and everybody will be floating. Yeah, I would say it's something we really don't know yet. But I do feel the cruise lines want everybody back, so they will acknowledge that excursions are going to have to meet what people want. So let's hope that they adapt, so that you can go to the beach for as long as you want, and I know price is a thing too. Normally, if you just get off the ship yourself, it's more economical. But for a while, you may not be able to do that. So, okay. Well, ladies, so Julie, we're going to send you a little prize for a little present for submitting a question. And if anybody else would like to email us or submit a question, please do. I am going to put up our contact information.
Our phone numbers and emails are shown. If you want to ask a question, you can just email TravelChatterCanada@gmail.com. That's the email for all of us. And if we answer your question on a recording, we will send you a prize. We would love it if you liked us on YouTube. And we will be back in a couple of weeks. If you subscribe, you will be informed when we get together. Give us a thumbs up. We always like that. We do appreciate that you watched, and we hope you stay safe, and please continue to dream about travel, because we do believe we will be traveling sooner rather than later. Thanks. Bye-bye.